Have you ever felt drained after spending time with someone? Like no matter how much you try, the relationship just isn't working anymore? Maybe it's a friend or even a family member. What if I told you that sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is to let go completely? In this video, we're going to explore 10 undeniable signs that it's time to end all contact, even with those closest to you. Relationships are meant to be our refuge, a place where we find comfort and stability. But what happens when those relationships become the very source of our stress and anxiety? When the bonds that were supposed to lift us up start weighing us down, it's time to reevaluate their place in our lives. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 key signs that it might be time to say goodbye to a relationship, even if it's with family or friends. These signs will help you identify when a relationship is no longer serving you, and more importantly, when it's time to protect your own well-being by cutting ties. Let's start with something most of us have experienced: one-sided effort. Relationships are a two-way street, but if you find yourself always being the one who reaches out, makes plans, and keeps the connection alive, while the other person barely lifts a finger, it's a huge red flag. Imagine you're holding a rope in a tug of war, but you're the only one pulling. Eventually, you're going to get tired and let go. The same thing happens in relationships. If the effort isn't mutual, it's not a partnership, it's a burden. Think about how this makes you feel: worn out, undervalued, and unappreciated. Is this the kind of relationship you want to keep fighting for? Probably not. Now, let's talk about conflict. Disagreements are normal in any relationship, but constant conflict is a different story. If you find yourself trapped in the same arguments over and over with no resolution in sight, it's a sign of a deeper issue. This endless cycle of fighting not only drains your energy but also damages your mental health. It's like being on a roller coaster that never stops. Each conflict is a drop that leaves you feeling more stressed and anxious. If you're stuck in this loop, it might be time to get off the ride altogether. Sign number 3: resentment and bitterness. When conflicts go unresolved, they breed something even more toxic: resentment and bitterness. Holding on to past grievances turns every interaction into a battlefield. You start to dread being around this person because every conversation feels like another chance to reopen old wounds. Picture this: you're carrying a backpack filled with rocks, each one representing a past hurt or unresolved conflict. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable, and you're left feeling heavy and drained. When resentment overshadows everything else, it's clear that the relationship is doing more harm than good. Sign number 4: clashing priorities and values. As we grow, our priorities and values often change. But what happens when those changes create a rift in your relationships? When what once brought you together now drives you apart? For example, maybe you're focused on personal growth and positivity, but your friend or family member is stuck in a cycle of negativity or destructive behavior. It's like trying to sail a boat with someone who keeps rowing in the opposite direction. You're never going to reach the same destination. When your paths diverge so drastically, it might be time to let go and find someone who shares your journey. Sign number 5: lack of communication. Communication is the cornerstone of any relationship. But if you've noticed that your conversations have dwindled to shallow small talk, or worse, you're avoiding deeper discussions altogether, it's a clear sign that something's off. When important issues are left unspoken, they start to fester beneath the surface. This silence creates an emotional distance that's hard to bridge, leaving you feeling lonely even when you're together. If words can no longer connect you, the relationship is already slipping away. Sign 6. Abusive behavior. Abuse in any form, whether it's emotional manipulation, controlling behavior, or physical violence, is an undeniable sign that the relationship is unhealthy and unsafe. This kind of behavior isn't just harmful in the moment, it can leave lasting scars on your mental and emotional well being. Imagine a beautiful plant trapped in a dark room with no sunlight. Over time, it withers and dies. That's what abuse does to your spirit. It drains your self esteem and traps you in a cycle of fear and dependency. If you're experiencing abuse, it's not just time to end contact, it's crucial for your survival and healing. Sign 7. Loss of trust. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. But when that trust is broken, whether through lies, betrayal, or consistent letdowns, the relationship becomes unstable and toxic. Imagine trying to build a house on a foundation that keeps shifting. No matter how strong the walls are, the house will eventually collapse. That's what a lack of trust does to a relationship. It makes it impossible to feel secure and at ease. When you can no longer trust someone, it's time to question whether the relationship is worth holding on to. Sign 8. Emotional disconnection. Emotional disconnection is another clear sign that a relationship is in trouble. You might notice a lack of enthusiasm or a growing indifference towards spending time together. What once brought joy now feels like a chore. It's like trying to light a fire with wet wood. No matter how hard you try, it just won't ignite. As this disconnection deepens, it creates a void that becomes impossible to fill. When the emotional bond is gone, it's often a sign that the relationship has run its course. Sign number 9. Lack of support. Support is a fundamental part of any relationship. But if you find that the person you rely on is consistently absent during your toughest times, it's a glaring red flag. Imagine you're carrying a heavy load and reach out for help, only to find that no one is there. That's what it feels like when a relationship lacks support. It leaves you feeling isolated and let down. If someone isn't there for you when you need them most, it's time to reconsider their place in your life. Sign number 10. Feeling drained after interactions. Finally, let's talk about the energy you feel after interactions. If every time you spend time with someone, you leave feeling more stressed, anxious, or unhappy, it's a strong indication that the relationship is toxic. Think of it like this: relationships should fill your cup, not empty it. But if you find that every interaction leaves you feeling drained, it's time to recognize the toll it's taking on your mental health and overall happiness. How much longer are you willing to let this continue? Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away. Look, I know deciding to end a relationship, especially with family or close friends, is incredibly difficult. But prioritizing your own well being is not selfish, it's necessary. Ending a toxic relationship is an act of self care, opening the door for healthier connections that bring joy, support, and mutual respect into your life. It won't be easy, and there will be emotional challenges. But in the long run, the benefits of choosing yourself are priceless. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might need to hear this message. And if you want more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, your peace of mind is worth protecting.